We witnessed a glimpse of Kaiju number 8's new power when he easily knocked the Daikaiju of the Meiriki era into a building. It seems this might truly be the answer against this extraordinary ancient monster. Will Kafka's sacrifice of his humanity be worth it to obtain the overwhelming power he now possesses? Let's find out. We continue the story in chapter 122. After sending the Daikaiju flying into a building, Kafka took a stance while waiting for it to stand up again. When he saw that his attack had barely any effect, he commented that of course it remained unscathed after his punch. He thought about how the Meiriki Kaiju's strength had greatly increased compared to its power 400 years ago after it obtained the power and intellect of 9. He stretched his shoulder and added that unless he defeated this monster now, this cataclysm would spread throughout the world. After stretching, Kafka positioned himself again and said they should begin. He released an extraordinary aura and in an instant, seemingly teleported in front of the Daikaiju due to his incredible speed, but unfortunately, the monster still managed to block his rushing right straight. Nevertheless, with his new strength, he managed to break through the Daikaiju's defense, and as a follow-up, gave it a solid left hook to the body, which sent it flying upward into the tower wreckage. Kafka's attack didn't end there, and while the monster was still in the air, he jumped high with remarkable speed, surprising Hashina. Upon reaching the Daikaiju, he delivered a left straight, which the monster managed to block. The impact of his punch was so powerful that it caused a massive shockwave throughout the surrounding area. While the two powerful kaiju were in the air, they exchanged blows that caused numerous energy blasts, shaking the entire vicinity and startling their companions. Due to their continuous exchange of attacks, Kafka failed to notice the Daikaiju's tail, allowing it to wrap around him. The monster then quickly rotated and, after gaining momentum, released him, hurling him into a nearby building. His body slammed into the building wall, and as soon as he crashed through, the Daikaiju quickly followed to deliver a follow-up attack. He was forced to go on the defensive, and when it punched him, he was sent crashing through to the other side of the building. As Kafka descended to the street, he immediately dashed away to anticipate the enemy's attack, but when he and Keiji looked at the Daikaiju that was still in the building, they were shocked by what they saw. It turned out that the monster was preparing to fire an energy beam from its mouth, and Keiji immediately recognized it as Kaiju number 2's main burst, which concerned him. Kafka had no choice but to wait for the incoming attack, and as it began to approach him, he wondered why it wanted to hit the ground. To the surprise of all his companions there, he suddenly kicked the incredibly powerful energy attack toward the sky while irritably asking if the Daikaiju was trying to turn Tachikawa into a vacant lot. Because of his action, the monster's attack exploded in the air, but its power was still so intense that it released an extraordinary shockwave that destroyed and toppled nearby buildings. People in the control room and on the battlefield were left shocked and eyes widened upon seeing this. Just as Kafka was telling the monster that such a move was banned, he turned and saw it charging the same attack again, making him realize that it planned to unleash a barrage of main bursts. Using the thrusters on his heels, Kafka quickly flew to divert the monster's attention to him and prevent it from hitting the ground. While flying, he maneuvered himself to dodge all the attacks. However, after evading them, he was surprised to discover that they could change trajectory. Making a quick decision, he readied his heel thrusters and attempted to intercept the Daikaiju's main bursts, resulting in numerous explosions in the air. Najizaka couldn't believe what he was seeing, but it seemed Kurusu had jinxed Kafka when, after he said he had avoided all the shots, Kafka failed to notice another energy ball coming from below him. Because of this, it hit him solidly. Unfortunately, the Daikaiju's barrage of attacks didn't end there, and it followed up with several more main bursts, which worried Mina. While watching this, Narumi commented on how frustrating it was. He said Isao could only produce 2 of these kinds of attacks, but that monster was casually releasing dozens of shots. In Keiji's mind, he irritably noted that even the original Kaiju number 2 couldn't pull off such a stunt. Najizaka added that of all the kaiju that had emerged in history, this Daikaiju was the most outrageous monster among them all. While Hashina was showing his disbelief at what was happening, Narumi added that what frustrated him the most was that Kaiju number 8 was even more powerful than the Daikaiju. Following this, we were shown that despite the numerous main bursts that hit him, they seemed to have no effect on Kafka as he suddenly emerged from the smoke. The monster was completely shocked by this, and as a counter, Kafka grabbed its head and slammed it into a large rock, destroying it. After that, it was Kafka's turn to unleash a barrage of attacks, and each of his punches was so powerful that it seemed to leave craters in the Daikaiju's body. With each punch he delivered, the shockwave grew stronger and stronger as if Sand King had created an epicenter, and before long, it enveloped the entire area, causing a large portion of it to be destroyed. Due to the hype and excitement, Kafka's companions were all urging him to continue until the enemy was defeated. However, Kafka suddenly stopped his barrage of punches, greatly puzzling everyone watching him. Kafka then asked them to extend the restricted radius to 5 kilometers because the monster would be coming out of there. Eyes that were initially only in the center of the Daikaiju's body began to emerge, and it seemed like it was about to explode as it bulged tremendously. And there you have it. This Daikaiju has yet another form? What a monster! Truly like a final boss in an RPG game. What kind of trick will its new form show? Let's find out in the next chapter.